got sectioned, i.e. involuntarily put into a mental hospital against her will, okay? I guess that's redundant, involuntarily and against her will. It's the same thing, huh? I had to fight. I, alone, okay, had to fight to keep her out of the bad hospital. Though they're all bad, but you know what I mean. To keep her out of the one where 3 out of 3, okay. Second 2 times she was in there, she wound up in the emergency. The third time around she was in there, she wound up in the emergency, sent back after a few days, and then 8 hours later in the emergency again, I said, you cannot send her back in there. And for whatever reason, they listened to me. And she wound up spending like a month literally in the regular hospital, which was way better than being in that fucking mental hospital where I sarcastically say they won't rest until they kill her. She also, the second time she was in there, fell in their shower and hit her head. But I guess it wasn't bad enough to go to the hospital, and nobody was going to tell me. My mom let it slip by accident. Well, she wasn't going to tell me either because she didn't want to get anyone in trouble. Oh my God. She didn't want to get the staff she likes in trouble. Remember, my mom has a bad habit of blurring the lines, okay, between professionals and friends who are not your friends, right? Anyway, I had to fight to keep her out of that place. And the scariest fucking thing is that I didn't know I had to fight because I didn't know she had been, it was a done deal. There's usually a process. You get medically cleared in the regular hospital, and then you're examined in a crisis who decides whether or not you need to be sectioned at all. But since I wasn't involved in this at all, and this, life is different now, for my mom and for me. I didn't know I had to fight. You bet your goddamn sweet fucking bottom the people who put my mom in there wouldn't even if they knew to fight, wouldn't give a fuck, okay? Let's make that clear. They wouldn't give a fuck. They wouldn't make the effort. They won't know the history. They don't know. I'm the one who always fights to keep my mom out of that one place. And I didn't even know I had to fight. Luckily, the nurse, who was also busy saying to me that she's known my mom for years, and I've seen your mom way worse. I'm like, I know. And then she let it slip. Oh, we're sending your mom or she let something slip. And I'm like, wait a minute, has she already been seen by Christ? And she's like, no, she came in here automatically. Oh my God, and I didn't know. I was waiting to, oh my God. And then I contacted Crisis and begged them, no, don't send her there. Of course, there's other ones I didn't want her sent to either. And again, it's in the end, they have to. They can accommodate family to a point, but they can't keep her in the regular hospital forever. The insurance won't pay for it. They have to take an open bed, okay? So people will always say, well, what does it matter if your mom goes in the mental hospital? It's better for her. And no. In an ideal world, yeah, you think, oh, she'll go into these people go in the mental hospital and they'll get better and it's better for them. It's bullshit. The doctor who saw her, the nurse said, I've seen your mom way worse. I'm like, yeah. And the doctor who saw her wrote on the paperwork that I have as proof, Samantha seems to be at her baseline. I've known her for quite some time, but she came in here on a section, on whatever, it's called section 12, whatever, it's an automatic section, i.e. there's nothing I can do about it. I have to send her to a mental hospital, even though I don't think she belongs in one. She got to the mental hospital, okay? Thank God. You know, one that where the doctor was cool, and she was telling me he doesn't think I belong in here, and she was out 5 days later. So what does that tell you? If she's usually in for 3 weeks, at least 2 weeks, whatever, and she's out 5 days later, in the regular hospital, both a doctor who's known her for a long time and a nurse who's known her for a long time felt like she's been a lot worse, or is at her baseline or whatever, and doesn't really belong in a mental hospital. And then a stranger doctor doesn't think she belongs in there. And the minute and she gets discharged like that, doesn't that tell you she didn't belong in there in the first place? Yeah. Tells me that. Was she doing absolutely great? No. You have to understand she's never going to be perfect. Never going to be perfect. There are always wolves in sheep's clothing who have ulterior motives, or who just don't know fucking shit, okay? But think they do. And if I justifiably hate them all, then that's it. No mas. Like, I'm not going to be privy to any info. I'm going to hear secondhand info. I'm going to hear from the hospital or whatever, well, we were told that your mom was behaving this way or that way and whatever, and then my mom will say she wasn't, and I have no proof because I didn't section her or even call the police or anything, and I wasn't there. Okay. Now what? It becomes a what's the point, you know? I'm supposed to be your daughter and healthcare proxy, and I'm treated like I'm fucking dog shit and on the bottom of a shoe, and it just, like, what's the point? What's the point? What's the point? An ignorant person will say, but you've allowed that to happen. Yeah. That's because when I was completely, just 100% brave and knew I was in the right and I whatever, and then it backfired in my face, me knowing that I had the right to stand up for my mom and to stand up for me and to just whatever, and it just, then I start regressing and withdrawing and, like, just, oh my God, what's the point? I don't have the strength. I don't have the whatever. I don't have anyone on my side who's around here. And then Church Mama was briefly on my side. But that was only when she thought, you know, but then if you she goes whichever way the wind blows, okay? If she thinks she can try to convince my mom of the importance of something, and together we try to talk, and then my mom does an about face, and then Church Woman does an about face, where does that leave me? It leaves me alone. It leaves me lost and alone, and, you know, Joe's fighting things on his own. He wants to try to sue the job before this last bullshit one, the one that was where he went in. I don't know if anything will come of that. He's alone. He's stronger than I am. Way stronger. He's more. And he's not, by society's standards, a loser in this life. And he's not mentally ill, so, you know. That's the bottom line here. If I'm treated like such shit that I'm left just in a complete state of utter shock, I regress. I regress. And as Selena would put it, my mom might care, but she doesn't care enough to stand by my side and fight. Okay? Or she's just too afraid. She exists in fear. I mean, come on. She's known church woman for 7 years, and she won't say to the church woman, you know, the guy said he would, I know he's a nice guy. I know he's helped us before, but he said he would get back to me. He didn't. Then his wife tells me he just forgot to get back to me, and he's coming tomorrow with his friend to put my TV up. And then instead of communicating with me, he goes through you. That's not right. She won't even say that to her. So I'm kidding myself if I thought she was ever gonna let us be, stand by my side, two warriors against evil. As Joe would say, they're all different kinds of evil. There are plenty of evil people who think they're good, and but whatever, she won't even say that to church woman. And I say, why didn't you say that to any normal person would say, the wife told me, he never got back to me, and the wife told me yesterday, don't worry about it, he's coming tomorrow. And then instead of talking to me, he talks to you. I mean, no. Why didn't you say that to Mama? I don't know. She won't. I know why. Because that's how she lives her life. And for me to be a part of her life and to have, no say and no relationship with the people in her life. I mean, I'm not stupid. Church woman didn't like it when I stopped bowing down to her, when I stopped allowing her, which I always did before. I'd bite my tongue and bite my tongue for the sake of my mother, okay? Selena, like Selena says, at some point, if all you have left is your pride, I just couldn't bite my tongue. Not regarding this. She just pushed me too far. And she is undeniably extremely good to my mom. My mom is very lucky to have that woman, okay? My mom wouldn't even be able to go to church. So, what do I get out of it? What do I get out of it? A ride to the grocery store if you're gonna do an about face and act like I'm crazy and gang up on me when you know damn well that the situation, I mean, that's betrayal. My mom betraying me or turning, out of fear or whatever is different. She is a system. She's owned. She's a part of the machine. She's, but for church woman to do that to me, oh my God. she's done to me. You think I would ever have any guilt about talking about her on my channel? I wouldn't, because it's all true. My mom knows it's true. I'll sit there and I'll say to Mom, you know that church woman did this to me. She's like, I know. I'll say it to my mom. My mom knows. She just... Her mother is resigned to her fate, and I'm just a pawn. Like Selena said years ago, and I couldn't even have imagined this. That I welcomed with open arms because I didn't fucking know any better. You're damn straight. Nobody made sure I would know any better either, okay? Let's make that clear. Unreal. Unfucking believable. Again, this was bad enough, and now I don't even have any relationship with churchwoman who's a regular part of my mom's life, and and that's all fine and good. But when I have no relationship with churchwoman, I don't want to get information from her regarding this important thing about this guy saying that he would put that TV up for you. It's driving me nuts. She didn't contact him, Mom. She was giving you the runaround, okay? That's why you contacted him yourself. And then you don't follow through, and then he goes to her instead of to you. It's so wrong. It's like, remember, I'm not like slow or whatever the words are for someone, you know what I mean? My mother's elderly and mentally ill, but I am a college honors graduate. I'm not like, If I were, this would be different. Then I would be just like her, and I would allow everyone to, But I'm not that, and I do try. I said I was standing up to churchwoman. She didn't like it. She didn't like it. She doesn't know when to stop. There are some things I agree with her on, and others, even if I agree with her, she's like, well, can't you just do this or tell your mother, take that away? No, she's an adult. My God, you're not her only friend. She can go with someone else and get the Tylenol that you say she shouldn't take, and then you say she shouldn't drink coffee. My God. Then you think I have say in what meds she's on, and they don't give a fuck. All they want is to go. She just doesn't know when to stop. And she pushed me too far. And I screamed at her. And then I just like, I don't want anything to do with her anymore, Mom. But prior to me screaming at her, she was yelling at me. She was screaming at me over something else. And then she apologized. She lost her temper. So she's not as whatever as she might make herself out to be. And she was losing her temper with me because I wasn't understanding what she was saying about whatever. And then the irony is, it turned out she thought my mom was on the ibuprofen for all this time, blah, blah, whatever. And turned out I realized that I thought my mom was on that too. And then I looked at the bottle. She was on something she wasn't even on the ibuprofen. It's too much. It's just too much. It's like, I have tried, and I have tried to be brave, and I have tried to whatever, and when I get shot down and I get as I've said about myself always, I'm strong to a point. I'm strong to a point. There are people who will gaslight you and they will not back down. I'm not talking about church women. And you're left just like, this is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. This is so fucking unbelievable, and yet it's reality for us. Reality for me. I don't have the luxury of forgetting, either intentionally or because I really have forgotten, okay? I don't have that luxury like she does. I don't have the luxury to live in La La Land. I don't have the luxury to put my head in the sand. Even the smallest of things, she doesn't want to hear it. I'll say something not even that bad, and she'll be like, I don't want to hear it. I know you don't, Mom. You don't want to hear anything. You want to pretend everything's fine. You're going to pretend yourself away into something that you won't be able to get out of, and Omar and I'll be gone, and it'll be way too late. I know it, Selena knows it, and Joe knows it. So, unfortunately for you, your little church woman friend is just in La La Land too and doesn't want to know. But that's what she would be worried about, rather than you taking ibuprofen or Tylenol or whatever, whatever else she wants to get on my case about, and saying, just take it away from her like she's a little kid, Unreal.